Welcome to r/EntitledPeople, where this unfortunate woman finds out that her fiancé has been cheating on her. Now, I know what you're thinking, that sounds like a pretty standard story, and yeah, it is, but just wait, because this fiancé is quite possibly the dumbest human that I've ever come across, and I don't mean that lightly. He is ridiculous. Let's get into the story. Entitled fiancé gets caught cheating. Good evening, everybody. I hope we're all doing well tonight, and that we all have our favourite snack. Tonight, I bring you the tale of my now ex-fiancé getting caught cheating. Well, I'm no longer with him because he cheated on me. We'll call this guy Jeff. Some background real quick. I've been with Jeff for a while. Him and I have always been side by side. However, I started getting this odd feeling from him. I got a new job where I worked 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. shifts and I was home more. I was able to see him and be with him more. I was happier. However, Jeff changed instantly. He started hiding his phone from me. He wouldn't let me look at his phone while he was on it. Even if he wanted to show me something, he would send it instead of showing it to me. We were right by each other. Because of this, I changed my phone password. Because if I can't have his phone info, he can't have mine. It's a two-way street for me. When he went to look through my phone one day, he realized that I'd changed the password. Jeff flipped out on me and yelled, cussed, slammed things around, accused me of cheating and being with some guy from my new job. I told him I changed my phone password because he changed his, and I don't feel comfortable with him being able to have access to my phone whenever he wanted. He got pretty mad at me and stormed off. From this moment on, he began to get obsessive and a little crazy with me. He began trying to control me. He didn't like it when I went out with friends. He didn't like it when I talked to my two guy best friends of 6 years. Now, he'd never had a problem with this, our lad. But one night, one of them called me because he'd just got off a Navy tour and had been away for 3 to 4 months. He always calls me, Alice, and our friend Joe to tell us he's okay. But this time, Jeff flipped out. He demanded that I never talk to him and all of my other friends again because they were out to get us. At this point, the idea of him cheating on me was an idea in my head. I was working on moving out because luckily for me, my big brother's roommate moved out and he offered for me to move in and take over his roommate's lease. As I was planning this, Jeff cheating on me was confirmed one night in bed. Jeff pulled up a picture of his co-worker and said, "Look how hot she is." I yawned and said, "Cool," and rolled over to get some sleep. This upset him? He got mad at me for rolling over and going to bed, so he woke me up and started to talk to me about the girl he showed me. "I'm trying to show you this girl and you just ignored me." I continued to ignore him. "It would be nice if you showed some interest." I continued to ignore. "I just think that she's really hot and you could start to take better care of yourself to look like her. You should start doing squats and eating more salads." I've been struggling with multiple eating disorders since high school. I finally gained some needed weight, and that was his response? At this moment, it took everything in my power not to hit him. However, I'd already cut the emotional attachment to him. In that very moment, he was just a roommate. The next night, though, he was out with his friends. I knew he was with the girl, though. My big brother came over and helped me to start packing up my stuff to move into his place. A month went by, and this continued to go on. Jeff would tell me to make myself prettier, lose weight, do squats, go get a boob job. I ended up having my headphones in all the time to ignore him. I'd accidentally fall asleep on the couch at my brother's. I moved my cat to my brother's too, so I wasn't worried about that. One night though, I got a message through Facebook from a girl I haven't spoken to in years. She knows of my relationship with Jeff. She sent me a picture of Jeff and Sarah, the girl that Jeff wanted me to look like, walking hand in hand in the city's downtown area. She said that he was on a date with the girl and she low-key followed them for a bit. They went to dinner, got ice cream, and he took her shopping. Everything that he didn't like to do with me, actually. I told the girl thank you and that she is amazing. When Jeff got home from his dates, he sat on the couch next to me and I sent the picture to him. This is how it went. "You followed me?" "No, one of my friends saw you." "This is so out of line." "That's odd." "You need to apologize to me right now. I did nothing wrong. You literally followed me downtown and took pictures of me. Are you stalking me?" I was dumbfounded. I just stared at him and realized that this was the man I had fallen in love with. This was his true nature. This is how he will always be. And even if he didn't cheat, he would show himself as this eventually. I didn't cry. I just sat there staring at him as he insulted me and called me a crazy female dog and blamed me. Jeff then started yelling at me to say something. So I sat up and said, "Here is your ring back. You can keep the apartment. I've moved in with Kevin, my big brother." I handed him the ring, I handed him the key, and I asked him one last thing. "Was it worth it, Jeff? All these years down the drain?" Jeff looked at me with a straight face and told me if I had stayed at the hotel job and didn't take the new job, he wouldn't have gotten caught, and I should have stayed at the hotel if I really loved him. Jeff, what is that? I left that hotel job back in May and got a job as a lenses cutter at an optician's office. I nodded my head and walked out of the apartment and drove to my big brother's. I live with him now. It's been 5 months now since I left Jeff. I ended up casually dating a man I never thought I would date. And to say the least, he's treated me better in one date than Jeff ever did in 4 years. Jeff has seen us out at the bars, and this has resulted in obsessive and frantic phone calls, but he's now been blocked. He won't dare do anything though, because my new boyfriend is 6'9" and drenched in tattoos. I am very happy now. Alright, I don't even know where to begin with this guy. Jeff is an absolute mug. I mean, clearly. If he actually said what OP said he said about the fact that OP should have stayed working at a hotel, and if she'd done that, then he would never have been caught, then that might just be the stupidest thing I've ever heard somebody say in my life. Like, what? That is so dumb. It's unbelievable. I'm really surprised by how well you took this and how well you quickly changed your opinion to realize that this guy that you've dated for 4 years now and, you know, is your fiance is actually not the man that you thought he was. I have to say though, it's great that you were able to do that, and it's great that you were able to realize before you got further down the line. Because look, 4 years into a relationship, you may well have been inclined to believe that this guy was, you know, just going through a little phase of being weird and, you know, maybe having doubts or whatever, that it was completely normal and that you loved him and that he was still the same person that you thought he was, when in reality you're getting all these like massive red flags staring you in the face. It doesn't come much clearer than a cheating fiance, does it? But wow, what a story, what a man. I do sometimes think, how do you get into a relationship with somebody like this in the first place? But hey, who knows? Maybe he changed a lot. Thank God he showed his true colors before you married him, is all I'm going to say. And now moving on to our second entitled people story. Pumpkin carving almost ruined my relationship. So, I am a 28-year-old man now. This happened years ago and I've changed a lot since then. I thankfully moved 8 hours away from home with my fiance shortly after this occurred. I should have done that a long time ago. I recently had a falling out with my family as a result of everything they've done, and here is one of those stories. This happened about 4-ish years ago. I just started dating my girlfriend. I've had epilepsy for 17 years and had to leave college again to move back in with my mum and her ex-fiance. And no, don't worry, this story is not related to the previous one. However, I would love it if it was. I was getting to know my girlfriend's family for the first time, and it was so much fun. I enjoyed spending time with someone I wasn't related to. Her brother, his wife, and their kids all invited me to go pumpkin carving with them and a few of her relatives. Celebrating Halloween right, in my opinion. It was a big event they had every year. They all took off work just to be there. It was gonna be great. So, my girlfriend picked me up from work and drove me home really quickly to grab my seizure meds. On the way home, I texted my mum to let her know I was headed out to go pumpkin carving with her family for the rest of the night. She texted back and said no, because she was making dinner later. Take into consideration that my mum was already aware of the event because it had to be moved once already, and never said anything about dinner. I told my mum that we can save the dinner for leftovers tomorrow and that I really wanted to go. So, we park on the other side of the street and I head into my house. I come out, get into the car, and my mum comes trailing right behind me. The conversation went something like this. "He can't go. He's got dinner with his family," said my mum. "But my whole family will be there, and this event was moved just so that they could meet him," said my girlfriend. "Well, then move it again." "What? I can't." At this point, my mum comes over to the driver's side of the car, and it's making my girlfriend really uncomfortable, so I chime in. "Mum, back up a bit. Look, we already talked about this. I really want to go, and it's just for one day." "I'm sorry, you can't go. She's trying to separate you from your family. You're going to have to reschedule. OP, get out of the car. No. Get out right now. And guys, just remember, at this time, OP is 24 years old. Seriously. And his mum's still trying to tell him what to do. Unbelievable. At this point, my girlfriend, seeing I've got trouble standing up for myself, goes off on my mum. Both of them can be a bit overprotective. He just wants to have a good time with my family. What's your problem? And please, step away from my car. My mum gets closer and is starting to make me nervous. You are abusing someone with a disability. Now get out of the car, and you, she jabs her finger at my girlfriend aggressively, get off of my property. I actually got really annoyed and hurt by this comment from my mum because I'd just been diagnosed with autism and she knew that. And my girlfriend wasn't even on the property. She parked across the streets. Well, you can get the F away from my car and stop acting like a female dog. My girlfriend retaliated. So my girlfriend did use some colourful language here that might have been a bit out of line, but my mum was being extremely rude. For some stupid reason, I then got out of the car and go inside. I missed part of the convo at this point, but it obviously didn't get any better. I argued with my mum some more and regret giving in to her demands. We ultimately rescheduled pumpkin carving and it was a blast. Now this is one story of many. Tune in next time when my mum tells me my now fiance and I shouldn't have kids. Alright, big man, not gonna lie. Don't want to come across as patronizing here. You seem like, you know, you're a sensible bloke. Why are you like pandering to your mum so much? You're 24. You're not 6. If you want to go and meet your girlfriend's family and have a good time pumpkin carving, go and do that. Look, I get it. You don't want to disrespect your mum, but your mum, to be fair to your girlfriend, is being an absolute in this story. I don't really think that was colourful language, to be fair. Like, I completely agree. She has no right to say or demand what she was doing. It was silly, out of line, unnecessary. I don't really know why she felt the need to cancel something that you were looking forward to, meeting your girlfriend's whole family. That's nice. Pumpkin carving. Good time. She was being a your girlfriend was right to call her out because, let's be real, you couldn't really protect yourself and her. And now you tell me you went inside anyway and had to reschedule the event just because you're scared of your mother? Sorry, pal, but it sounds pretty embarrassing on your behalf. And look, I don't want to like abuse OP or mug him off or anything, but on this one, I kind of have to. Grow a backbone. Please. Bit embarrassing. Guys, let me know. Do you think that was a bit too harsh? What do you say to that? Like, in my opinion, OP needs to, you know, stop being a little pussy. Sorry. Go to the pumpkin carving, have a good time. Sack your mum off. See you tomorrow for leftovers. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this episode of r/Entitled People. Really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, and you want to see more stories about entitled people straight away, then check out this wonderful video I've just chosen. Do you see how it just appeared on screen? Magic. That is the magic that I can provide, and that you will feel if you click this video. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, and also turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. And I will see you all later on with a brand new video.